Hey everyone, welcome back to DRL Podcast Facebook Fridays. I hope the week has been great for everybody so far. Do y'all like my new necklace? This is the first time I'm wearing it. I actually got this from my friend Henry, who is coming on the show next week. It's going to be a really good episode. So anyway, so today's, before I even go there, do you know what I cannot get out of my head and I really need to? Do you know that remix that's been going on, the You Name It remix? The I got greens, hams, potatoes, tomatoes, yams. Like, I can't stop singing that song and I really need to stop. And actually, I'm probably going to make a Jamaican remix. So if anybody wants to collab with me on a Jamaican remix, like, I got ackee, saltfish, breadfruit, oxtail, go. Okay, I'm not a very good rhymer, so I'm going to need somebody's help on that. But anyway, moving on to our question today. So our question today comes from Michelle in Harlem, and this is a question about Tinder, actually. So Michelle says, I was swiping on Tinder when I saw a guy that I knew. I quickly realized that this was my friend's boyfriend. So I took some screenshots but have not sent them to her. Instead, I sent a vague text asking what they were up to for the weekend. Turns out they are still together, but according to his profile, he's single. Just to give you some background, they have been together on and off for several years, and she has previously broken up with him for cheating, more than once, I think. But they worked it out. I really don't want to get involved, but I feel bad not saying anything. Should I tell her? All right, so I'm going to tell you guys the story about when I learned about getting involved in people's relationships. So this was when I was in college, and I had a friend named, we'll call her Mary, and I had another friend named, we'll call her Sheila, right? So Mary and I grew up together and had been friends forever. And I had just met Sheila on my freshman year of college. And so Mary says to me, you know, there's this guy that has been trying to talk to me. I kind of like him. And that was that. You know, time goes on. Sheila says, yeah, you know, I've been with my boyfriend for a while now. She shows me a picture of her boyfriend, and I'm like, oh, that's the same guy that is trying to talk to my friend, Mary. So I go back to Mary and I say, how, like, what's happening with you guys? She's like, I mean, nothing really, but he keeps trying to talk to me. And so I'm like, you know, this girl I just met, we're just becoming new friends, that's her boyfriend. And so I then go back to Sheila and I say, hey, Sheila, you know your boyfriend? He's trying to talk to my friend Mary. So also, this is one thing I should add. Sheila and I were roommates at the time. So Sheila gets very upset at the fact that this is even brought to her attention. And I think she was like upset at me. And here's the greater part of it. So because Mary and I were friends, anytime that I was around Mary, she was completely mean and rude to her. Although Mary like stopped talking to this guy once she found out, you know, that he was trying to creep and she wanted nothing to do with it. So long story short is that's when I learned that it's not always best to get involved in other people's relationships, because when you're not in the relationship, you're the outsider and your word may not be taken as strongly as the people inside the relationship. So the friendship with Sheila and I fell apart because she was upset that I was still friends with Mary. And of course, the guy went on to cheat on her multiple times. Funny story though, I think they're actually married now. But anyway, this brings me to my next point. I think that when people are being cheated on, I think they actually know, especially if this is a relationship where it's happened multiple times and they've broken up and gotten back together. I think she knows, and I think some people they need to kind of figure that out for themselves. Like, you know, if you're dating a cheater, if you've already found him cheating, he's probably going to do it again. And I'm sorry, I'm not a believer. I think you either are a cheater or you're not. I don't think you're a cheater most of your life and then magically one day you just decide to stop cheating with the person that you've already cheated on multiple times. So in this situation, should she tell her? I think it's best that she stay out of it. I don't want it to blow up in her face. Now, here's the other piece of this. I put this on Facebook earlier, and I asked people what they would do. And a lot of people said, well, just because he's on the app, he may not still be active. He just might be on the app and he's not going on the profile and doing anything. Now, here's the other thing too. If this is her really good friend, this might be one of her best friends. I don't know. She just said it was a friend and she wasn't sure if they were still together. So I guess they're not that good of friends if she's not sure if they're still in a relationship. She could maybe have another friend tell or somehow hint at it, but I wouldn't outright call her up and say, hey, your man's probably cheating on you because I saw him on Tinder. You know, she could maybe bring it up very casually, but again, it depends on how good of a friend she is, because the last thing you want is to involve yourself. Then it's like, oh, do you want my man? Or you don't want who you are as a person question, but if it's a good enough friend, they're going to know you better than that and know that you're not trying to get in the relationship. But if it's a newer friendship, or if it's somebody you're not close with, I honestly would just leave it alone and stay out of it. So depending on how well you know her. Hey everyone, there's a couple people joining me. Hi Cynthia. Cynthia says, I don't know about Sheila and marrying you. Better tell Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, if I ever see your man on Tinder, I will let you know. I hope that helps, Michelle. But yeah, it's one of those things, like when you find out somebody's cheating, you can easily become the outsider, even if you're trying to be the person that's helping. So you have to tread very lightly and make sure this is a friend that you know very well if you are going to involve yourself in it. Because if he comes, if the information is told to the girl that's being played, and the first thing the dude is going to say is, she's trying to set me up, just creating stories. So again, make sure that this is a friend that you know really well before you involve yourself at all. Yes, Cynthia says tread lightly. So thanks to Michelle for sending in that question. And if you guys have any questions or need advice, online dating stuff, just friendship stuff, please feel free to inbox me or reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, at Tennesha Wood, all that. And don't forget, a new episode of the podcast comes on every Wednesday. I have some really exciting episodes that are coming up in the next couple weeks. I'm doing like a full guy panel where it's just guys and we get to ask everything girls want to know. I have the girls from Black Love coming on. So it's a really fun episodes coming up. So make sure that you tune in on iTunes or SoundCloud or Google Play. So you guys have a fabulous weekend and I will talk to you soon.